Welcome back, and hello if you are new. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic week and that you are absolutely amped up for this album review. Honestly, I know I've been going on about this band. I love this band. They're good friends of mine, and I'm probably slightly biased. Rivers of Nihil kind of broke the mold that no one seemed to kind of expect on their previous album, Where Owls Know My Name. This was where Rivers kind of really started that journey into the unknown, but their latest album, their fourth installment, The Work, is something completely different. So the theme on this record, as with everything in life, you have to kind of put in the work to be able to see the results. And this idea of do the work, that kind of, rhythmic sound is very much in the fabric of the entire record. It starts from Tower 1, which opens the album, right up to, the cathartic explosion on Episode, which features Black Crown Initiates James Doughton for that do the work. So for the fans that are familiar with the band, you'll know that they've tackled seasons on various records. So they've started off with spring, summer, Owls was autumn, so this is now winter. Had Terrestria 1 on The Conscious Seed of Light, Terrestria 2 on Monarchy, and Terrestria 3, which was personally my favourite up until now, on Owls. So Terrestria 4 takes the same sort of melodic motifs that have been throughout each of those albums and then ties them into something else. But they don't stop there. They've got even another kind of melody and another idea which is pretty much exclusive to The Work. But the thing is, and I think this is where the genius is that it never feels overdone or forced or, bloated, really. The record itself kind of consistently walks this tightrope between a nightmarish horror and kind of like a fever dream. So you've got a lot of contrasts going on here pretty much throughout the whole listen. Over the last 18 months, we've not been able to do anything, so the band probably had the biggest luxury of all, which was time. Time allowed for different ideas to kind of really, kind of bubble away at the surface, and one of which, and this is where I think this is kind of the sixth member, is field recordings. All of these sounds kind of combined together really create this kind of like malevolent, quite scary sounding, especially like at the beginning of Terrestria 4, where it just sounds almost like a Resident Evil game, with the gate opening. There are sounds here that are specifically in Reading, and there's the train that goes past Brody's house, or the abandoned factory where they got a lot of these different sounds, which were then manipulated and put into this sort of, I don't know, just like a sort of kaleidoscope, really. But the way that kind of works for me is that it creates something that is completely unique and will only be kind of tethered to this album, really. And I think that creates even more of this sort of like strange world, this kind of sound world that the guys are trying to kind of explore. So this is the second album that Jared, the drummer, has been a part of, and this is also his vocal prop or debut. And I think, Jake and Jared give an absolutely world-class performance throughout this entire record, but there's really a lot more emphasis on the clean singing being brought in, together with the actual kind of harsher vocals that we're used to. I think the band are really trying different things. You could see that there was this sort of electronica Nine Inch Nails kind of vibe on Terrestria 3, but Dreaming Black Clockwork, for example, is a great use of that. So it sounds like near the end of the song they kind of like ripped a tear into the universe and everything's just kind of being sucked out of this black hole. But then it's contrasted completely with Weight, which then goes really, really soft and, you know, like really clean. But then again, that sort of kind of goes until we go into focus. And again, it creates this sense of, I don't know, this sense of a world that's ever evolving and ever moving. There's also the lead single Clean, which, you know, has keyboards, synthesizers. There's a lot of different use of, you know, what you might expect. Obviously the saxophone returns. And then later on in the album, Maybe One Day, you know, I think has definitely become one of my favorite songs for sure. It has this sort of Devin Townsend-esque acoustic sort of feel to it. This future. Even the way that guitar playing is approached on this record is very different. You know, you've got Focus, which sounds more kind of industrial, but then some of the eye-watering solos on this album, my God, like Brody's really, well, Brody and Johnny T are finding, you know, their own voice very much. It's really, really cool. There's moments of like death metal fury on More, but then this sort of acoustic elation on Maybe One Day. And I also think there's a real sense of drama, which is one of the things that made me think of The Wall, especially when you come to, you know, tracks like Dreaming Black Clockwork, where there's that sort of maniacal laughing. But then at the end of The Void of Which No Sound Escapes, Brody's like, it's gonna fall, it's gonna fall. I don't know, it's just kind of like a sense of theatre about it, really. And for me, this is a brilliant encapsulation of those deep months of isolation that, you know, so many people had to go through. The work for me is a masterpiece. It's not the easiest album to listen to, and I don't think it's fair to compare it to Owls because they're totally different records. But the thing for me is that when something is so big and when something is so ambitious and so different, it takes time. It really does take time to kind of listen to it, assimilate it, you know, and really get to grips with it. It's been my album of the year for a good 4 months now. So I can't really see it being dethroned, to be totally honest. Rivers of Nihil, you have absolutely excelled yourselves. Congratulations. If you did enjoy the video, it would be great if you could hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And other than that, I will see you guys very, very soon. Take care, my friends.